He's the founder of Mist LGBTQ Foundation, the Maharashtra State Coordinator for All India Professionals Congress, a TEDx speaker himself, the 2022 Lokmat LGBTQ Digital Influencer Award winner, a winner of Pune Mirror Hall of Fame for sustainable work in the field of LGBTQ and empowerment. And here I would like to give a warm welcome to our very own Mr. Gay India, Mr. Shyam Konnur. Please have a round of applause for him.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much. It's a really warm welcome from all of you, and it's good to see first like a corporate event, the house is full of people already sitting, and I'm very excited to be here, seeing all of you all as I enter wearing these rainbow ally, I hope you all know what ally means, right? Yes, only 2-3 heads shaking. Okay, that's fine. Maybe after my talk you'll all be ally. If not, you're already an ally, you'll be an ally after that. So talking about something basic about LGBT before I go to my life, it's something every LGBTQ person don't know of. We all go through the same thing that all of you all go through. We struggle to understand ourselves as we come. So how many of you know what LGBTQ stands for? And you all are wearing that, so how many of you all know what LGBTQ stands for? No one? Okay, one. Only one. Okay. So, maybe for everyone, just a brief, I won't take a lot of time in that. LGBTQ is not one community, it has not been always one community, it has been multiple communities. It's LGBT, all separate communities. They've all come together because they are all fighting for same cause. Now, if you divide that in two, we are two major communities who are talking about, one is gender, one is sexuality. They are two different things, right? I heard you all already had word with Gauri Sawant, so of course you all know what gender identity is, what gender dysphoria is, or what struggles just people from belonging to different gender identity go through. Similarly, L, G, and B are sexualities. It's different sexuality where people fall in love with the same gender. Like I fall in love with the same gender. I have my partner who is in Bangalore now. I wish he was here in Pride Month. So, did you all understand what I was talking about? Yes? Okay. Great. So, both this gender and sexuality, people were struggling because of their identity, and we came together. Even I was struggling in my childhood. I was from a small town called Sindhanur. I'm not sure many of you all heard. It's North Karnataka, a very regional, dusty, hot place. It's mostly farming. We grow rice and cotton, and I was from that place. I didn't know what even gay homosexuality was meant those days. We didn't have internet to find. We didn't have books to read about. So I was going through this whole dilemma of what's happening to me. Am I a sinner? Am I addicted to sex? Or am I just confused? Am I just mad or something wrong with me? That was the confusion going to me. But I never thought that that's okay to be who you are. I was going through depression, it affected my studies. I didn't know what to do. When I moved to Bangalore, I started listening to different terms. I saw small kids like maybe in school showing middle finger to their other friends. I was like, what is this? What's happening? I go to my grandmom and ask, what's happening? Why are they showing that? Are they trying to say something? She's like, I don't know what that means. Of course, she don't know what that means. So it's not only people from like the society, it's even the community members go through the struggle of understanding who they are, what they are. So as an ally, first step will be accept. You don't need to understand what they are going through, but we need to also let them be who they are and respect someone's feelings or respect someone, what a person is going through. I'm sorry, I'm mixing my story as well as if you'll have any questions, please ask me. I'm happy to answer your questions, because I feel stories have more power than just telling your description of what ally means. So I'll be mixing both the topic, what ally is and what my story of coming out, my struggle of coming out is. Is that fine with everyone? Yeah, great. So that's how I came to Bangalore. I started learning about, I came from education to Bangalore actually, and I started learning about what it, not only about LGBTQ, of course, I started exploring my life. I started understanding sexuality. I started understanding what new terms were in English. Of course, you don't speak to parents about all these terms, though we spoke English at home. That was my journey of struggle. It didn't end there. Even after coming to Bangalore, it was like, I went to cyber cafes, though it was expensive those days. It was $100 an hour, I guess, to go and access internet. We didn't have apps like we have these days to meet other queer people. We didn't have so easy access to internet. We had to go once in 3 months, go on some Yahoo Talks, I think, Yahoo rooms where you chat with similar mindset of people or things like that. But you're still scared. You don't know who's the other person on the other side, who you're talking to. You are worried about, is this a fraud kind of thing. So those kind of things kept me still behind in the community. Didn't let me go explore my sexuality. It was scared that if this person robs me, what would I do, right? Sorry. So, but this also kept me, my mental health stressed. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I going against the religion? Because Bible says it's an abomination, right? What is abomination? A lot of people will say it's sin. Abomination is not sin. It's a word just changed by people. Abomination, those days when people wrote the Bible, it was unclean. So that's why if you see a lot of text messages, it also talks about don't eat pork, don't eat hair. It's all abomination. But we all do that right now, right? So things have been changed as per humans' interpretation. People have written books as per they believe. But no books in the world talk about hate. They all talk about love. Not only Bible. It could be Quran, it could be, Bhagavad Gita, or it's Bible. All of them talk about love, how to accept people, how to respect people. So I went through a struggle where, okay, why I'm talking about this is my dad is a Christian, my mom is a Hindu, so I come from both the backgrounds, and in my confusion of life where I was struggling, what should I do now? I thought, let me go and find a way to heal, cure myself. I thought I'm a sinner, I need to cure myself. I started following a religious book. Anyone heard Mormons? It's very rare in India. Some of you all have heard, right? Mormons is a Christian, it's just started in 80s century. It's by Joseph Smith. He is they say he is the founder, and he's also prophet of the Mormon church. And they believe in different things from the other Christian groups. They believe there's a new book called Book of Mormons, which was missing from the Bible. That's what they believe. So I started following them to heal myself, cure. They are very homophobic. They would even give electric treatment to gay boys. That's the thing. So I thought I'll get cured. I'll go there and I'll get cured. I didn't tell my family about that I'm going to there. Once they found out, Mormons are hated so much, even in India. Even if you're walking on the street on a Sunday, wearing a blazer, people know you're going to Mormon church. They'll start spitting at you. They'll throw stones at you. So similarly, my family also was phobic against Mormon. They thought Mormons are cults, and my son is going to a Mormon church. So that's how my whole life from being queer turned into you're doing a wrong religious practice. You know what queer means? Only one again. No one else knows what queer is? Queer is a complete term for LGBTQ. If you don't want to use LGBTQ, you can term yourself queer. Or if you don't want to feel belong to any of, you don't want titles for yourself. I don't want gay, lesbian, bisexual. So then you call yourself queer. You don't want to use all these individual terms. You call yourself queer. That's umbrella term for queer. Or if you're confused or questioning, before we used to call it questioning. If you think I'm not heterosexual, but also I don't know where I belong to, you can use term queer. Queer can be used for these three things. Understood? Or do you want me to explain it more? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, when I wanted to heal myself from being queer, I started going there. I didn't want to tell my family or my friends. I was like this onion who, there's so many layers, the deepest secret is inside. You don't know what's happening to the person. So, when I started going there, I started being removed. I started being locked at the room because my family didn't want me to go to that church. And they start calling, you're going to a cult practice, it's wrong. They don't know why we are going there, because that's the struggle a queer person goes through. They're scared to tell it to their family. Now there's another reason they're struggling. They're scared to tell it to their friends. They're scared to tell the society that what they're going through, because they themselves don't know the struggle, the pain that a person that they'll face after telling, or they're facing with their own confusion. I know these days it's little more easier. You can find details on Google. You read about people every day. You have so much to talk about, but we didn't have, at those days, we didn't have a, role model to look forward to, like, oh, I want to be them one day, I want to come out like how Gauri Sawant is speaking on TV now, how Shyam is speaking. We didn't have that role model to look forward to and have that courage to come out, right? Today we have a lot of role models to understand what the community is. And respect people, it's just about who you love. It's not harming anyone by falling in love with another person of your same gender, right? Even if that's not the case, even if someone is dressing weirdly. I've done, okay, I'll be coming out about this first time at this event. So we have small biases within ourselves we don't know about, including me. Including me, I would not know. To research those biases, I wanted to feel what people, I think because I'm part of LGBT community, I know everything that happens in the LGBT community. That's not right at all. I don't know what a person from, for example, a trans person goes through. It's very difficult to understand. We think it's easy for us to understand. So I wanted to test myself. While coming from Bangalore one night in the sleeping bus, I thought, let me try if I can see how I feel. I just changed. I wore like I think a gown kind of a thing, wore a sandal and got off my bus with my suitcase. And I saw the whole world staring at me. It was so weird, it was so scary that I couldn't stand there. I was shivering there till my cab came. Imagine people who really want to transform and be who they are, to feel themselves. It's so difficult for them, and they have to deal with that every day till the time they feel comfortable and tell the world that I don't care what you think. That is the fear that all of us from the LGBT community have to come out to the world and say that yes, we are here. The stairs continue to us till the time we reach our safe space. Right? So talking about that, the second point of how you can be a good ally, stand up to your friend. Even if if someone is talking something that you don't realize that it's not right, I mean, if you realize it's not right, you just go up to that person and say, look, I have a LGBTQ friend. What you're saying is not right. They don't do that. That's the second way to be a great ally. So, because so many people have friends from the LGBTQ community, it's really bad that a lot of you don't know what it means. You'll need to learn about your community friends. Being a good ally is not just being a friend. You need to stand up for your friend. You need to understand what their lives are. You need to, even if you don't understand, my first point, even if you don't understand, let them be. Respect them. Not everything everyone can understand, not everything everyone can relate to, but respect a human being, not only LGBT person, anyone it could be. If you don't understand what they're going through, respect the human being. That's the main point. Now coming back to my story, maybe I'll come back to the different point again. Coming back to my story, after I went to the church, after my family kicked out, I had no option to go anywhere. I had to start working. Is it okay to take company names, right? Yeah. So I started working in the age of 19, when I was 19 years old, and I started with Accenture, one of the companies who, in 2008-9 this was, where we didn't speak about LGBTQ. Only in 2009, 377 was read down. So in 2008, 7, 8, we had these emails coming out for women support group at the corporate. We had one tiny line below which said, we support our LGBTQ employees. That made me so comfortable, so strong, and thanks to Solitaire, maybe there are people here who feel supported. Maybe if they are not out, they'll feel, okay, yes, if something goes wrong, I can go reach out to someone, my company will support. That is also a support. You don't need to have an LGBTQ friend, coming to that point again. You don't need to have an LGBT friend to show your support. Stand. So all of you are wearing these lanyards. Sometimes we get people reaching out to us in our organization. Okay, I run an organization called Mist LGBTQ Foundation, you all have read. So they say, my company say they support, but I don't think my manager actually supports. He's just wearing it for the sake. He might get goodie points, he might get promoted, that's what they say. Are there people like that in this room? Sorry, it's the wrong question. Nobody will say yes to this. So, I'm saying this because when you all are wearing these rainbow lanyards, people will start trusting. They think that, okay, you will support me. If for someone walking on the road, maybe they are not even from your organization. If you're wearing this lanyard and walking on the road, they'll think, I'm in trouble, I can go reach out to that person. These are also like symbols to say that you are the supporter, and if they are in help, they need help, they can go and talk to you. So when you're wearing this, I just wanted to point out, it's a very responsible thing you're wearing. I just wanted to point out that when you're wearing this, it's a responsibility. It's not just that you show that you support. Maybe people will reach out to you and say, I'm facing this problem, can you help me? Maybe a trans person is being bullied on the road and they'll reach out to you and say, I'm being bullied on the road, can you help me? So please use your responsibility and carry that. So coming back, so that happened in Accenture with me, and I was so happy. I think that changed my life. That was the first time I decided, oh, let me see, 2008 Pride. I didn't go to the Pride. Yes, I was scared. I saw so many people walking. Then 2009, I decided I will go. I went to my manager directly and I told them that, look, I want to go to the Pride. It was big 15 days festival there. I said, yeah, I'm going to the Bangalore Pride. I don't care. I need off. I'm not going to come. And very luckily, I got a good response. I thought it's going to be same, like people are reaching out to me. I said in organization saying that it's not real support. They're just wearing it for thing. But we had nothing those days to show. But I think the organization or the people there really supported a lot, and that's my journey where it started. I came to the Pride. That was my first Pride. I volunteered there. I started seeing that I am not alone. There are hundreds of people like me. So long I always thought, oh, I'm the only one gay boy who's like this. Everyone are different. I was phobic too. So don't worry. If you were phobic, don't worry at all. It's journey of learning. I was phobic too. I saw a flamboyant person, I would tell, I'm different. But because that was my phobia, that was my restriction to understand about the community before I learned about myself. So when I went to the Pride Walk, I saw different kind of people. Not only people who I was phobic about. I thought there are hundreds of people like us, and everyone are different. Everyone are unique. There's no one similar to one, or there's no one like me there at the Pride. So that's what was the community. We were different people coming together to fight for acceptance of who we are. And that changed my life actually. That night or that day was different, because I decided I'm not going to sit back and not talk about the community. I'm going to talk. That was my first day that I started speaking in media. I started talking to news channels, talking to newspapers. I had not spoken to my parents yet, for your kind information. So please do not follow. If someone is here and not out and planning to come out, don't follow my story. It's a bad way of coming out. So I decided to talk in media. All my parents, relatives, everyone saw me on the news channel, and they were shocked, of course. They're like, how come this person is coming out on TV? They didn't talk to me. They come running to Bangalore from my hometown and say, you're spoiling my family name, blah, blah, again, a lot of things. But I reminded them one thing, again, before I go to that point, do not use my story to come out. This is not the right way to come out. So I pointed out them one thing, that when I struggled, you all didn't really realize what I was going through, right? And I was already working in Accenture by then. So I was very harsh to my parents, and that's why I was pointing out again and again, don't do this. I told them, if you think your family name is spoiled, if you think you don't want a son like this, just consider your son dead and put a garland. I gave them a photo of mine. I know, that's very harsh to do. So that's why I said, don't do that. But parents always they love their kids, right? Of course, they didn't give up on me, and it took time for them to learn and understand and accept, but it became a journey for them too. We need to give time to our parents, like how I took 20 years to understand about myself. That 20 years need to be given to your parents too, is what I learned, because it's not easy for them who are already been system or programmed to the societal norms. It's like 40 years they've been understanding this is what it is. 40 years of watching movies which talked about only heterosexuality, and gay men were treated like a joke on those movies. 40 years of for them not knowing that being who you are is okay. We had to follow some norms in the society. That was what parents have learned. So you need to give them the same time that you have taken to understand us or understand their kids. And that worked in my favor. Like my parents were understanding, and so here I am today. It was not easy for my parents to understand, of course. We went through a long process of don't ask, don't tell. Anyone know what that means? No. So don't ask, don't tell is a concept where if you are not interested in getting married, your parents will never ask you about it. You don't tell that you have other same-sex partner to them, even if you have. It's just like keep both your opinions to yourself and live your life happily. That's the concept. So that's how we moved on, and that's the journey of me accepting myself. It's just a part of me accepting myself. Later, I moved to Pune around 8 years ago, to Pune. Very funny reason. I had a breakup, and then I thought, I can't live in Bangalore anymore. That was what I decided, and I moved to Pune. I had breakup so many times before. I couldn't be without a partner more than one day. So when I break up, I just find another partner the next day. So this time was the first time that I decided, no, I'm leaving Pune. I'm leaving Bangalore and moving to Pune. It's been 8 years I came here. This was a challenging place for me. The life was very different here. I came here because I searched on Google which city has no LGBTQ life, and I found Pune on the top one, and I came here. I wanted to not just leave my partner, but I wanted to leave the entire community and come running to a city. It didn't work well in my favor because I thought I want to run away from Pune because I don't have a social life here. I want to run away back to Bangalore. When that happened, I got challenged by someone here in Pune who knows what I did in Bangalore. They said, what's the point you work in a city like Bangalore where there's everything good, people are accepting, and you want to do activism there? Then what's the point of your activism? That's what someone asked me. Then that's when I felt it was challenging to make a difference in Pune. I started doing very small thing. People said, "Nahi, Pune mein log nahi manenge, tumhe bhaga denge." It was wrong. People didn't try doing things in Pune. There were people, everyone are just humans. There were people there are corporates here, there are corporates there, people who are well educated here, well educated there. I actually didn't have to put much effort. I just went to one restaurant first day and asked, can we do an LGBTQ event? And the person was like, yeah, okay, do it. I'm like, people said it's so difficult. It was not difficult at all. I just had to go speak, and people did let me do it. But yes, people were scared of, there were a lot of threats like, you're not a Marathi, why are you doing social activities here? From different NGOs, I would say. There were different social groups coming up and saying, oh, this is my territory, why are you doing events here? So those kind of threats continued. People were scared about like venues, not community members. They were people who wanted to support community, allies like you all of you was a team, to give their spaces, to give their. They were like, oh, will someone come and throw stones at our venue? We are scared to give our venue. So those kind of fear. It was just something took place. There was no stone pelting happening anywhere. People didn't come attack you or anything. It was just, it was something that was never tried in this city, and so people had questions, doubts, imagination. That was very difficult to clear. We had to prove to one that it's not possible. The best one was we, for our first event, after the small pub event, we wanted to do first proper event, an art festival or film festival that we do. We searched the entire city. No one gave us spaces. No colleges, no auditoriums gave us space because they were all scared of. I'll take the name, that's fine, because I don't think they are so harmful. Everyone was scared of Shiv Sena coming and throwing stones at them. But I don't think they do that. They don't have time to sit and check where queer event is happening. I'm sure that's what, they don't do that. So finally we got a vegan cafe who are also like an activist group who are fighting for a different tribe, but they're fighting. They gave us space. It was so small, like maybe 10% of this room. We took off their furnitures, we put mats and pillows down, and we told people, sit here. We'll perform on this stage. So that's how my life in Pune began. I started struggling, doing that thing. We got a threat one day before that call. Actually, this time was a threat. It was not like those people scared. We got a threat saying to the owner of the venue, actually, how dare you give it for a queer event? They are spoiling the culture of our city and things like that. We got a threat. I didn't want to force the person, so I told, look, if you don't want to give the venue, that's totally fine. We'll manage to do it somewhere. You take care of your safety. But the owner took that courage. She said, okay, let me do. We'll see what to do. I said, give that person number. I invited. He was an, I don't know, 55, 60-year-old person. I told him, come, if you think something is wrong, we'll go have a discussion and we'll shut. He came to the event before any other queer person came. He was there at 8:30 if the event was starting at 9. Before even organizers came. Because we knew we were doing it at cafe, we didn't have anything to set up there. So we went on time. So he was standing there early. He stayed till the last person left. He bought things from. So his mind changed by the end of the event. By just being with the community and understanding them, watching all the movies. So that's why this story is because, again, I'll tell you all, don't judge people by just hearing about it from someone else. Go meet them, understand them, they are good. Again, this not only applies to LGBT, it applies to everyone. People are good. We just judge them from far away, from what we see, what they dress, how is their hairstyle. Oh, he's full of breeds. Oh, he's this drug addict. Let's not go talk to him. He's bad. So I'm just giving an example of how people judge. So let's not judge people. We need to go meet them. If you want to talk to them, you'll understand who they are. Everyone is good in the world. No one is bad. It's just the perception that we have.
We still have a lot of homophobic people around us. So I just want to ask you that whenever you come across such people, how do you react, or you just ignore it, or you try to educate them?
It depends completely on the situation. There are situations I don't ignore because that's why I'm standing here. I've been that rebellious person always standing there and fighting back. There are situations, if you know you are with some people and you're going to put them also in trouble, it's better to also take care of your friend's safety first before you be a rebel and harm yourself as well as your friend. And it differs from place to place. If you're at workplace, it's better not to put your job into threat by rebelling against people, because it's also how you behave at workplace. It's not only how the other person behaves. You also need to make sure that you stay calm even if the person is being very rude to you or being bully to you by using words, maybe terms. I'll give you a story. What happened in 2012, I think again, is from my party only, but that's okay, I'll talk about it. Ghulam Nabi Azad was the health minister, I think, at that time. And he told that, oh, homosexuality is a Western disease which has come to India. And just a few days before that, on July 2nd, we celebrate a day called Indian Coming Out Day. And we were all releasing balloons in Cubbon Park, Bangalore, and enjoying and celebrating the day. My photo came in the paper next day, big. LGBTQ community is celebrating, and health minister calls it a disease. And all my friends start calling me, do you have a disease? They don't know now, easier way for them to bully you is tell you have a disease. And my colleague sitting right in front of me in Accenture says, hey, I saw someone like you exactly, and he used some bad words, but it's not you, don't worry, but this guy's used all again bad words, I'm not using those here. I was so scared, I didn't know what to do. I'm sure that would be the situation at workplace if someone is doing that to you. The easiest way is you can handle it, be calm and say, I support the community if you're not from the community, or if you are part of the community, just don't say anything. Reach out to your managers, reach out to someone wearing this rainbow tags. Maybe they'll guide you. I'm sure you all have ethics helpline. If not, yeah, do you have? Okay. You all have ethics line. Reach out to the right person to take care. Don't react immediately and create the space, make the space more disruptive. Take time, think what is the right step to do, or maybe start talking about what are the right things. Do a small training right there if you think it's easier to take care of it right there.
I know the journey would be very difficult, but just wanted to ask a couple of things. First of all, every difficult time you always have a inspiration. So what would be your inspiration at that point of time? And second is, when we talk about a particular community, so what are the careers that you look into?
Fine, I'll answer both.
Thank you
First,
very much.
That in my story, like I said, I wish I had inspiration in my life at that point. I did not have. I think I'm inspiration to myself. Because those days we wanted someone to stand up, look forward to, or be like them, but we didn't have anyone, or we didn't have the internet. Maybe there were people abroad, but I didn't have access to see who were these LGBT role models at that point. So I don't have a role model in my life. And second thing, it's a myth that LGBTQ community only belong to one industry or field, or that's what they look for in job. No, LGBTQ people are everywhere. There are scientists, there are doctors, there are fashion designers, there are people in movie, everywhere. So there's no one industry that people from LGBTQ community belong to. They're everywhere. So there's no one industry that I can say that that's where we want to.
Thank you very much. I think, yes, we need to have a round of applause for Shyam at this stage. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shyam.